Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Study with Simmer. Today we will be learning fractions. So before we start, please like, share, comment, subscribe and hit the notification bell. So let's move on with the video. So let's start with the types of fractions. Our first type of fraction is proper fractions. Now what are proper fractions? Proper fractions are the fractions where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. I'm so sorry I wrote this wrong. The numerator is smaller than the denominator. For example, 3 upon 11. Here 3 is smaller than 11. Thus, it is a proper fraction. So let's move on with our next type of fraction. Now, our next type of fraction is improper fractions. Now, what are improper fractions? Yes, you guessed it. They are the opposite of proper fractions, which will be that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So let's see an example. 11 upon 9. Here we can see that 11 is bigger than 9. So it becomes an improper fraction. Now let's move on to the next type of fraction. Our next type of fraction is mixed fractions. Now what is a mixed fraction? A mixed fraction is where we have a whole number and the fractional parts represented. So this is the format of an mixed fraction. So let's see an example. The example can be 2, 1 upon 3. So as you can see, 2 here is the whole number, 1 here is the numerator and 3 here is the denominator. So why do we have mixed fractions? We have mixed fractions where we have a whole number, which in this case is 2, but we also have a fractional part, which in this case was 1 upon 3. So then we get a mixed fraction 2 1 upon 3. So let's move on to the last but not the least type of fraction. Now our next and the last type of fraction is equivalent fractions. Now what are equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are the fractions which are equal, but they do not always have the same number. For example, if I have 2 upon example 1, so it can be equal to 4 upon 2, as when 2 upon 1 is multiplied by 2 upon 2, it gives us 4 upon 2. So the pair of 2 upon 1 and 4 upon 2 are equivalent fractions. But if in this case I had 2 upon 1 and 3 upon 6, so this would not be an equivalent fraction, because whatever I multiply by 2 upon 1, it will not give us 3 upon 6. So thus, this is not an equivalent fraction. So now, let's move on with converting fractions. Our first conversion is from improper fraction to mixed fraction. So remember that the improper fraction can be only converted to mixed fractions and no other type of fraction. So for example, if my improper fraction is 12 upon, let's take 5. So now how to convert it to a mixed fraction? So to convert this to a mixed fraction, we'll have to divide 12 by 5, but not till its decimal numbers. So let me divide it here. So here we have 12 divided by 5. So now 5 2s are 10. So we'll write 2 here and 10 here, which gives us the remainder of 2. So do not divide further as that will give us decimals. So here our answer will be equals to 2 upon 5. Remember, the denominator never changes. And this here is the quotient. And this here is the remainder. So now let's move on to our next conversion of fractions. Our last conversion is from mixed fraction to improper fraction. So now let's take the mixed fraction as 3 upon 5. So to make this to an improper fraction, we'll have to multiply the denominator with the whole number. So that will give us 10. Now add the product with the numerator. Plus 3. So now whatever the product you get at last which in this case will be 13, take it as a numerator and take the same denominator here. So this will be our improper fraction. So now let's move on to the addition of fractions. But before we start addition of fractions, you'll have to know what is BODMAS. Now BODMAS stands for, do you know what does it stands for? No? Then let me tell you. Bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So here, according to BODMAS, we will always solve the bracket first, then of, then division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. So now let's see the addition of fractions. So let's see the addition. So here I have taken the fractions as 3 upon 4 plus 1 upon 2. So the first step to add these fractions is to find the LCM, which here will be 4. So now make the denominator same as the LCM. So here 3 upon 4, so it will be the same as the denominator is the LCM only. Plus, just put this in the bracket and 1 upon 2 into how much that gives you the LCM. So in my case, it will be 2. So multiply both the denominator and numerator with the number. So the answer I'll get is 3 upon 4 plus 2 upon 4. So now don't add the denominators, add the numerators. So the numerators give us 5. Now the fraction will be 5 upon 4. Now let's move on to the subtraction of fractions. Now for the subtraction, I have taken the fractions as 6 upon 7 minus 7 upon 6. So just like the addition, we will have to find the LCM of the denominators, which in this case will be 42. Now just like the addition, make these denominators to these LCM. So here 6 upon 7, I will have to multiply by 6 upon 6 as 7 into 6 gives us 42. And here for 7 upon 6, I have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator with 7, as 6 into 7 gives us 42. So here we will get 36 upon 42 and 49 upon 42. So now again minus these two, which will give us minus 13 upon 42. Now let's move on to the multiplication of fractions. Now for multiplication, I have taken the fractions as 4 upon 5 into 25 upon 8. So in fractions, if you know the opposite numbers like 25 and 5 here have one of the same, what should I say? The same factor. So I can cut these two. So here the same factor will be 5. So 25 divided by 5 gives us 5 and 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. Same with 4 and 8. 4 and 8 can be divided as well. So this will give us 4 divided by 4 is 1 and 8 divided by 8, 4 will give us 2. So we'll get the answer as 5 upon 2. But in other examples, if I see 4 upon 5 into 3 upon 7, none of these have the same factors. So we will not be able to cut any of them. So now here we'll have to directly multiply 4 into 3 upon 5 into 7, which will give us 12 upon 35. So now if you have an improper fraction, convert it into an I'm so sorry, I meant that if you have a mixed fraction, convert it into an improper fraction and then solve. So now let's move on with the division of fractions. So now for division, I have taken the fractions as 3 upon 4 divided by 2 upon 8. So for division, first you will have to, flip or exchange the second fraction like this. Bring the denominator up and the numerator down. So in this case, it will be 3 upon 4. But remember, you have to change this division sign to multiplication sign then. So it will be 3 upon 4 into 8 upon 2. Now again, like in multiplication, you can cut these numbers again. So this will be 1, 2. So now 2 cut. So you can cut these two 1 and 1. So which gives us the answer as 3 upon 1, which can also be written as 3. So if you want to check your answer, if you do not want to divide, you can do it simply. 3 into 8 upon 4 into 2, which will give us 24 upon 8. So again, you can divide these two. So 24 divided by 8 gives us 3. And 8 divided by 8 will give us 1. So again, we will get the same answer, 3 upon 1, which can also be written as 3. So now let's move on with the simplification of fractions. Now for the simplification of fractions, I have taken the fractions as 25 upon 36 minus in the bracket 3, 1 upon 12 divided by bracket and then again a bracket 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 24, the bracket closes into 1 upon 12, bracket close, and this bracket closes again. Now let's solve this. So you'll have to use the board mass here. So remember, the board mass first says to solve the bracket. So to solve this bracket, you have to solve this bracket first. So let's see. 25 upon 36 minus 3 upon 12 divided by in the bracket if you still want to write. So here, as you can see, the LCM is not, the denominators are not the same. So the LCM will be here as 24. So I will write 1 upon 3 into 8 upon 8 plus 1 upon 24. The bracket closes into 1 upon 12. Bracket closes and another bracket closes. So this will give us the answer as 8 upon 24. So now we'll have to plus 8 plus 1. That will give us 9. So we'll write it as 25 upon 36 minus 3 1 upon 12 divided by bracket 9 upon 24 into 1 upon 12. Like this. Now the next bracket we have to solve is this one. So now to do this, you can see that 9 and 12 can be cut as 3. So 3 threes are and no 3 fours are. So now these two can cut. 3 ones are, 3 eights are. So this will become minus. So the answer here will come 1 upon. So now for the denominator, multiply 8 into 4, which will give us 32. So now to solve this bracket, first we'll have to make this an improper fraction. So as I told you, let me just erase all of this to show you the ahead working. I will let the last line be so you can use that as the difference. So now 1 upon 12 as an mixed, as an improper fraction. So 25 upon 36 minus in the brackets. Now again use the converting here. So this will be 12 into 3, which will give us 36 plus 1. So 37 upon 12 divided by 1 upon 32. So let me just erase the last line as well now, as we have a new difference. Now it will become 25 upon 36 minus, remember in division, you have to exchange the denominator and the numerator. So it will become 37 upon 12 into 32 upon 1. Now remember, while dividing, do not forget, while exchanging the numbers, you will have to also change the dividing sign to multiplication. Now here 32 and 12 can divide by 4. I'm so sorry. Yes, it will be by 4. So this will become 8 and this will become 3. Now it cannot be further divided. So this will become 25 upon 36 minus in the bracket 37 into 8 upon 3, as this is 1, so it will become 3. So this will become 25 upon 36 minus 37 into 8. So now what is 37 into 8? It will be 296 upon 3 here. That will be, so it's a minus. So the denominator should be same. So take the LCM here, which will be 36. So to bring the denominator same, I will keep this as 25 upon 36 minus, in the bracket again, 296 upon 3 into 12 upon 12. Now let me erase the above lines. Now we'll solve this part. So this will become 25 upon 36 minus 296 into 12. So now what is 296 into 12? It will be 3552. So, and this will give us 36. Now we have the same denominators. So now we'll minus 25 minus 3552 upon 36, which equals, now to make this a little simple and not minus 3552 from 25, we can first minus 25 from 3552, and the product make it as a minus number. For the answer will be minus 3527 upon 36. So now let's move on with the comparison of fractions. Now let's continue with comparison. So here I have taken the fractions as 4 upon 7 and 3 upon 5. So to compare these two, find the LCM of the denominators, which will be here 35. So now make these 35 the denominator. So this will be 4 upon 7 into 5 upon 5, and which will, which will be equal to 20 upon 35. And the next fraction, which is 3 upon 5, will be into 7 upon 7, which will give us 21 upon 35. So as you can see, 20 upon 35 is smaller than 21 upon 35. So here, as you can see, 3 upon 5 is bigger than 4 upon 7. Thank you for watching. Once again, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell before you leave. Thank you.